All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode with Wootrade. We're talking today to our CTO. His name is Terence Wu, which is a very good last name, I guess, considering the project you're working for. Yes, I think Terence has not had very much exposure in the limelight yet, so we're very excited today to get a chance to talk to him and let him kind of share his ideas about Wootrade with the community and all the Woo token holders on YouTube. So why don't we begin just by Terence giving us a quick background.
Okay. Thanks, Ben, for the introduction, and nice to meet everyone here. So actually, my career start with HSBC. I work in HSBC for like equity trading system. So we build the equity trading for Hong Kong HSBC trading desk to trade in Asia time zone, from Australia time zone to India time zone. So we basically connect to different exchanges and we send order over there. We built the system to support like more than 40 traders to trade basically globally, which we cover like ETF, option, warrant, CBBC. Those are the derivatives that is listed in the Hong Kong markets. And we also trade like stock options, along different exchanges in Asia time zone. And I also work in a few technical vendors. Both of them are quite famous globally. One is called Ulink, which is like we build fixed connectivity for people the investment banks, they will buy the vendors solution and they put in place in their in-house connect with in-house system, and they can route the order through our platform. And we also build like equity trading system for the investment bankings. So that is basically my previous background. And after that, I start to work in a hedge fund. I'm one of the partners there, and we start a quantitative trading hedge fund in Shenzhen. And then I fall into the scope of Wootrade. Mark and Jess somehow talked to me and say, hey, why don't you join us to build the next generation dark pool? So I think it's quite exciting. So that's why I'm here. So I joined them to build this platform for the communities. Yeah.
Awesome, Terence. I think the last couple of months has been very dynamic here at Wootrade, and there's been a lot of changes that are going on. And might be related to the price, I don't know. But we've had a lot of new community members, and I think some of them might not be completely familiar with everything that Wootrade is, right? So there's a lot to it going on in the background. Sometimes we fall into the category of we're just like an exchange or we're just a dark pool, but there's really a lot more going on. So maybe from the perspective of the CTO, you can explain an overview of the tech side and what we're building.
Okay, so that we have to go back to the first phase of version 1 of Wootrade. So version 1 of Wootrade, definitely we are trying to build a dark pool for exchanges, right? So we provide good liquidity. We're trying to supply this liquidity to different exchanges, because we see that in crypto exchanges, crypto world, the liquidity is very fragmented, right? So we're trying to bring all this liquidity from different exchanges and combine it together. And at the same time, through our high frequency trading strategy of Chronos, we provide extra liquidity to the market. And that was the first goal of Wootrade at the very beginning. So we somehow achieved that back in last year before May, right? So and with that system launch, we see there's a lot of limitations with Wootrade. We admit that, quite frankly, that at that time that Wootrade has some limitation, and that's why we start to think about, okay, we should build a more scalable Wootrade, which can fit in different kind of scenario and allow more people to trade with us. So we spent quite a lot of time to revamp the whole architecture And actually that was all the work we have done since I would say from September to like this month. So we basically now the Wootrade system is totally I would say it's totally another system compared to the system that we had back in May last year. And why we are doing that? That is the most simple reason is that because we have the direction to say we want to bring this liquidity to professional traders, right? So that is our goal. At the beginning, we start with Wootrade, we bring the liquidity to the exchange. So then we see there's some limitation, system-wise, architecture-wise. And we have the second goal, we want to bring this liquidity to more peoples. We want to serve more peoples, right? So that's why we, based on this goal, on this vision, that's why we changed the whole architecture to support more people. And we, up to, I would say, end of this month, the Wootrade now is in V3, version 3. We have the version 2 released like back in October. Actually, it's like from August to October 2020. And from 2020 October, we start to build the Wootrade V3. So now I think we're almost there. We're almost there for the V3. And that's why we are able to support the launch of WooX. Hopefully, we're going to onboard more professional traders on this platform, and we are going to serve the community with better liquidity, not just to institutions, also to the professional traders. And then we can start from there to improve Wootrade for the next step.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned WooX because that is the trading GUI that is actually behind me right there.
Yeah.
I guess based on what you've said, that this is just one part of the Wootrade infrastructure that connects to the actual network itself. What part are you most focused on? Are you focused on WooX? Are you on like the trading network itself? Where are you positioned right now?
So I'm more like driving the backend development. Actually, I would say, let's say we call the GUI like WooX, right? So we're trying to provide a professional trading GUI for the institution, the professional traders. And but on the backend side, actually, it's one system. So it's one system that we're providing. We're supporting different use cases. So we are trying to solve all these problems with the same architect, and that's why that's also the reason that we are changing this architect bit by bit, because at the same time we also need to allow our the existing client to be able to carry on their business on this platform. We are not going to break down the whole system and do it again, because at the same time we still need to support this to trade, right? And that's why backend is like that is the direction that I'm driving to support at the same time the institution peoples and also the professional traders. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That's a good explanation, and actually, some of the things I'm not even familiar with myself about it being one system. So that's good to know. One thing I wanted to go back to your background, because you did obviously come out of HSBC and then a more traditional world before that. So I'm wondering, as you approach developing in a blockchain environment versus in the traditional world of finance, what challenges or differences are coming up?
For traditional world, actually there's I would say actually the requirements are a lot higher than crypto industry. Because you have a lot of regulations. You have a lot of regulations in the traditional world. You have to make sure your system is always being stable, and when you trade with the exchange, the connectivity is also extremely stable. in crypto, you have to connect to different exchanges. So there's a lot of, disconnections and instabilities in the exchanges. So we need to handle that. So that is something that usually in a traditional world, indeed you also have to handle that, but you don't have to pay so much attention to that. But in crypto world, we have to pay a lot of attention to this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess there would be a lack of standards in terms of development coming, and probably a lot of that.
And also, there's one of the big challenges compared to traditional world is like the 7x24.
Okay.
That impose a lot of challenges in the systems, I would say. Yeah. But in traditional, you always have the off market time. But in crypto, you don't have the off market time. Yeah. So that is I would say that is the difference between crypto and traditional. There's some part of the traditional is more complicated. There's also some part of the crypto that is more complicated than traditional. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Is that affecting your personal life at all with this 7x24, having to be online all the time and, not having the weekends off to go do whatever you want?
I would say kind of, but not exactly that much. And because we have a good team, right? Because we have a very agile team. We have our engineering director Xuyong is taking care of quite a lot of things to help to release some of my burdens, right? And we also spend quite a lot of time to make sure the system is going well. And our team is also very responsive in all these issues. So backend is taking care of some of those issues, but it's not like we have to be there like 7x24. So as long as the system, we try to make sure the system works properly, and we have a lot of monitoring and operation procedure for that to make sure the system run smoothly. From the client's experience, most of the clients are quite happy with our stability, right? So even we also admit that we sometimes have some disconnections, but it's not like we spend like huge amount of time that trying to recover that. So because we spend quite a lot of time to monitor this, and we're trying to bring back the system bring back life. So that's why we also have enough time to sleep.
Okay, cool. One of the things that the community brings up a lot of time they're justified in doing this with a centralized exchange or any sort of centralized network with digital assets. A huge concern becomes security, right? So how is Wootrade addressing security? That would be something we'd all like to hear more about.
Yeah. So actually, we have quite a lot of measurements. I wouldn't say we are already at the target. So we keep improving this. So Wootrade at the moment is most of the client trading with us is institution customers. So we basically we're holding the asset with custodian, and most of the asset is we have a very detailed procedures on how those assets being transferred among wallet and different platforms. We segregate the duties of different peoples. So every time we, regarding those transfer of the assets, multiple people have to go through this process. that is like operation risk. We're trying to control it with different procedures and also with a segregation of duties. And for technical wise, I mean, we spend quite a lot of time on defining our API. So we at this so well on that. And actually, recently we are trying to hire some security experts in Taiwan, and we're sourcing these kind of people. So we want to because we want to keep improving about the security of the platform, not just about the regarding the security on the chain or on the asset. It's also about the security on the whole platform, on the API level, and also on the procedure wise, how we guarantee the kinds of assets being secure. So we are working a lot on this direction, and there's quite a lot of details about like how we're doing that regarding designing the platform, and also how we're doing that regarding how we like segregate different people's responsibilities. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like, for example, I don't even have access to any asset. So that is also kind of like I would say is a segregation of duties. We try to control different people have access to different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody in the industry has been burned once or twice, or heard horror stories. So it's definitely reassuring to know that this is a priority for Wootrade. But great, let's move on. Something that's kind of unique, maybe it's not actually, maybe it's not as unique to the cryptocurrency industry, but does happen on a fairly regular basis thanks to the volatility of the asset. There'll be sudden massive spikes upwards, and then there'll be massive dumps downwards, and with it they'll bring a lot more volume and traffic to the network. So how do we, as a CTO, how do you ensure that a network is stable regardless of how the market conditions are affecting it?
So we honestly, even for us, we also experience some problem with the with the network. So I mean, we have to admit that, and it's also sometimes it's also causing some problem with the clients. But that doesn't happen so much with Wootrade, of course, because we keep monitoring about our usage of the platform and also our network traffic. So I think that has to thanks to our DevOps team. They spend quite a lot of time on looking after this aspect. And also, it's not just about the, I would say it's not just about the network bandwidth that we have to monitor. It's also about how the order bandwidth or the throttle that we can absorb, and also when we try to hedge against other exchanges. So how do we manage the redistribution of our risk among different exchanges? So because we are coming from a high frequency trading background, and we have been handling a lot of this kind of situation with you have to be very sensitive about even just a small network glitch, and that is that honestly that gives us a lot of competitive edge that we know what we need to take care of. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's kind of like a given in this industry that when a big pump starts happening, that one of the major exchanges is going to go down, and people aren't going to be able to get on. So I think from a professional trader standpoint, if there was a network that they could go to and rely on, especially in times where volatility was at its sharpest, that would be something that would be a big selling point for Wootrade.
Yeah, true. I mean, when some of those main exchanges, when they go down, definitely which it means that in the world there's a liquidity pool suddenly available, right? So we still trying our best to provide liquidities to the market. It's based on our trading capabilities, and also we manage our risk properly among other exchanges. So that's why we can provide this stable liquidity pool to the crypto world. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to go a little bit off the path of the technical side, just because you've spent so much time around trading. How about yourself, Terence? Are you a trader?
I used to trade a bit, but you know what? There's these things. When you do trading, you basically cannot do any. It will drag you a lot of attention to the market. Mm-hmm. So since I mean we have quite a lot of work on the tech side. I mean we need to keep improving the system. So I just I don't do any more trading these days. I do have some long-term investment, I would say, but I would say investment is not the same as trading. In my definitions, I mean it depends on how people define it. Investment is more for long term. Trading is like you have a very short time horizon, which means you have to keep monitoring the market. That trading I didn't do anymore. Investment I do. So I definitely buy some BTC, buy some Wu token, right? FLD, right?
I hope so.
And yeah. So but it's for long term. Yeah. So that's the things I'm doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And I'm going to put you on the spot here. One last question before we wrap up. You know, how confident we got WooX coming out? We're finishing up the upgrade on the back end. We're rolling out solutions in the DeFi space, and we're bringing in flow from there. Things are ramping up very quickly here. How confident are you in this tech stack to kind of hold up against all this and perform well?
Well, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. I mean, we start to design this new architect back in October 2020, and we spent honestly it's quite a short period of time for this new architect, because at the same time we need to handle what you say is the DeFi, right? We're trying to bring the liquidity to DeFi, and at the same time we are trying to improve the GUI. So it's quite a tough work for past few months. I mean for this new architect, we are quite confident about that. Of course, I would say there's still definitely room of improvement, and honestly, we already planned the improvement for the coming few months, and that is the Wootrade V4. But with this Wootrade V3, I think if the clients start to connect to that, they will see there's a lot of improvement. And we also we're also changing the API. We have a lot more different type of market data source. And the architect also now a lot of layer of this architect it's a lot more scalable. So which means when we start to onboard more clients on this platform, we are expecting that we can scale it with more hardware and with more process to support this flow. So I would say I'm quite confident about that. But definitely there's still room of improvement, and let's see. Yeah.
All right, Terence, I said that was
Yeah.
my last question, but then you forced me to ask another one. We've been talking about scalability on the network. Right now, if we look at the network, it's about 50 million to 100 million per day. And you're talking about scaling it. So, like, I don't know if you can give me a number or not, but like, how scalable could this be? I mean, are we talking a few billion? I think Binance is at like 30 billion per day. Could 100 billion? Is there a limit to what we're doing?
Okay, so when we are talking about scalability, actually I don't mean to. That is not really linked with the amount of. It's not like direct link with the trading volumes.
Okay.
Instead, it's like there's a few measurements. Right? How much more tokens that we can list with our engine, and how much kinds we can onboard that we can distribute the market data to all these kinds without any delay or latency, and how much order we can how much volume of the number of orders info, let's say per second or per hour we can take on this platform. So those are the measurement for the scalability, and also like let's say for such a amount of orders, what will be our latency of handling these orders? So because it's not really linked with the capital that was traded on the platform. Because one order could be like 100 BTC, and one order could be also like 0.001 BTC. So that is not it's not about the trading capital, but it's about the number of transactions that we can handle in this platform, and also the kinds subscription to our market data engine. So we are trying to improve this so that we can onboard more kinds, and when more kinds onboard first, they see the performance of the system, and if they feel comfortable with that, then I mean definitely people will be more willing to trade with us. Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like I asked a bad question, but you gave a very good answer. So I guess that's that's what I do best. But yeah, I think we can wrap it up on that note. I think we're all looking forward to seeing the products that come out of Wootrade, and like you said, seeing how the new clients onboarding and all this stuff. So it's going to be a very fascinating end of 2021, I think. So thank you for coming on today. Thank you for taking time. I should let you get back to work. And yeah, I hope to talk to you soon, Terence.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, we're good. We'll stop the recording.